Aloha, Chris Cashman here, got my Dole Whip in hand. We are getting prepared for a very special edition of the show. I'm transporting you to Hawaii, or at least Wallingford's version of Hawaii, which is more exciting than it sounds. So just sit back, relax, and let the spirit of the Aloha take you away.
I'm St. Brian in Seattle, where every building has a story. You just need to meet the right man to tell it, and you will.
Holy Hosta, it's me, Cisco Morris. I'm gonna show you how to make your Hosta get big like this.
And the historic boat that's a floating World War II museum.
Well, aloha and welcome to evening. I wanted to make sure I looked the part. Welcome to Seattle's Slice of Hawaii. Actually, it's Wallingford's Slice of Hawaii since 1998. Hawaii General Store has been right here, and boy, timing is everything. They are bustling. It's graduation season, and this is clearly the place to get your handmade, authentic leis.
You're doing so good, dude.
We always want people coming in and leaving, happier than when they walked in, or just feeling like instant aloha when they walk in the door. That's the main reason we exist. I mean, I started it because I wanted to get a lei for a friend who was having a hard week, and 30 years ago, there was nowhere to find a lei here.
My daughter's graduating on Thursday, and she wants lots of leis, she said. I didn't know it was a big thing, but it is.
So I was like, that's it. I'm opening up a Hawaii store, and I have no background in business, no nothing. I just love Hawaiian culture so much.
From colorful flower leis to island-inspired gifts, Hawaii General Store offers a true taste of aloha in the heart of Seattle.
And people come just like Nani right now, who's sitting there with Duke, hanging out with our store dog. And I love creating a space that is a third place where people can come and just unwind and remember what it's like to hang out with other people, and it's all good.
So where are they graduating college? Washington, right across the way.
This one is a spiral orchid, obviously, very UW.
This is a Christina lei made with Bombay orchid, and they use every part.
Just step inside and you'll find more than Hawaiian products.
It's not about me at all. This store is about Hawaii, and it's about aloha, and feel respectful of Hawaiian culture and that aloha feeling. That's what it's about.
How gorgeous are these leis? They take about 5 days if you want one fresh, and boy, do they smell incredible. Get your order in now. All right, our next story takes us to Seattle proper, where an engineer has built a really impressive Instagram following by celebrating Seattle's buildings. It's going to make you look up. Saint has that story.
Hey, his name is Keith Cody. He's an amateur historian who will give you a new appreciation for the buildings of Seattle.
Most people who see Seattle's 33-story sky glass residential tower might think nice windows or wonder how high is the rent. Keith Cody sees something else.
But I like to call it the crinkle fried building.
A giant crinkle-cut French fry.
Because of its unique zigzaggy shape.
Which may explain why Keith has become one of Seattle's most unlikely social media stars. It has nothing to do with his flair for vintage clothes.
I like retro style almost as much as I like architecture.
But because on his Instagram page, Buildings of Seattle, this engineer notes details most of us might miss.
Yeah, those are the rosette bolts to help with earthquake protection. It'll not save the entire building, but it'll at least save people on the sidewalk from crumbling brick.
Keith is something of an amateur architectural detective.
First I ask myself is, I wonder how old it is. I wonder who designed it. I wonder what was here before, what changes have happened to it over the years. Has it always looked like this?
Questions that will send him digging through books, archives, and historical records. A quest that all began during the pandemic, after Keith had walked down every street in Seattle.
I kind of wanted to go back and revisit all of my favorite places. I started Buildings of Seattle just to document some of my favorite buildings. It turns out I have lots of favorite buildings, so it's just snowballed into a project where I'm cataloging anything that looks interesting on the streets.
Many of them are in Pioneer Square, built after the Great Seattle Fire of 1889.
Historically, this was not always a Domino's pizza.
No, it was not. But it used to be the Olympus Cafe, an old world European-style coffee house with various rooms of different themes. And it was built in 1897 with a unique blend of Beaux-Arts and Art Nouveau architecture.
From old brick to gleaming new towers.
And this is what I was talking about, the barcode patterning of their windows.
Keith Cody says there are a lot of good reasons to keep your head up and eyes to the sky.
Seattle has this reputation of not really great architecture. I've heard it called a city of ugly buildings. So I've been trying to dispel that myth one building at a time.
Thank you, Shane. Keith says he may write a book about Seattle's most interesting buildings, but until then, just keep looking up and wondering. Since we are celebrating culture here today, let's talk about mariachi music, something you might hear on vacation, maybe at a party. But there is a Seattle musician playing traditional Mexican music in places you might not expect, and songs you will recognize.
My name is Luis Cano. My title is singer, mariachi in English singer. First ever, you could say.
It's the most wonderful time of the year.
Mariachi is a genre of music that started in the 1800s in Mexico. I've always liked to sing mariachi music. I would pay for the mariachis to play and I would sing. So think of it as like a live karaoke kind of thing.
At the beginning, for Luis, it was just a fun hobby to do. But the dreams of doing it professionally was always there.
I bought a suit and I had it in my closet for like a year. And I never did anything with it. I wasn't looking to do a career.
After a couple of gigs, Luis noticed people really enjoying his performances, even though he was singing in Spanish.
How many of you like mariachi music? And most people clap because they had just finished a song. But then the next question is, how many of you have heard it in English? And normally it's dead silent.
The plan was simple: sing popular English songs with a mariachi twist.
If I was able to convey the feeling of the song without them knowing what I was saying, what if they could understand? And that's where the mariachi in English came about.
'Cause we're living in a world of fools, breaking us down.
These are songs that I like to sing the way I like to sing them. To me, it was more like, this feels right. It feels like I should do this. Anybody can learn music, but not everybody can feel it. This became my life.
Fly me to the moon, let me play among the stars.
Doing it from the heart. It's me. I want to be able to sing, and I want to be able to share the joy of mariachi music in a more culturally accepted way by the English-speaking crowd.
I did it my way.
Thank you, Jose. Luis Cano is a talented guy, loves sharing his passion and his music, especially with schools. If you've got something coming up, he'd like to be a part of it, we got more information for you on our website, king5evening.com.
Still to come on the show, Cisco with a plant of the month that's massive. And this week's top 5.
Now in our 40th season, Evening shares local stories that make our community shine. Evening is sponsored by Pemco Insurance. Pemco empowers the Northwest to prevent the preventable. Learn how at pemco.com.
Aloha and welcome back to Evening from Hawaii General Store here in Wallingford. Come belly up to the bar. They've even got Dole Whip on tap. You know, there's some scary stuff happening at the box office right now, and there is a new #1 bestseller in nonfiction. It's okay, we've tied it all up for you. Here's Saint with this week's Top 5.
The Wayans brothers have scared up big laughs, easily winning the weekend box office with $55 million in domestic ticket sales. Masters of the Universe flexed its way to #2, earning nearly $30 million. Kane Parsons' Backrooms earned enough to pass Marty Supreme as A24's highest grossing film ever. Obsession and Amazing Digital Circus The Last Act, based on another YouTube sensation, round out the top 5.
You think I want to fight? Look at me. Wrong.
Rotten Tomatoes says the hottest show streaming right now is Spider Noir, the Prime series starring Nicolas Cage as a down-and-out private eye who gets pulled back into action as New York's only superhero. Coming in at number 2 is The Burrows, a Netflix sci-fi mystery featuring an all-star cast including Bill Pullman and Gina Davis. At number 3, Apple TV's quirky mystery series Widow's Bay. 4th goes to Apple TV's quirky mystery series Maximum Pleasure Guaranteed. And rounding out the top 5, the Prime romance drama Off Campus. And finally, David Sedaris is back on top of the New York Times nonfiction list with his new collection of essays, The Land and Its People. David will give readings at Benaroya Hall in November. At number 2, Strangers by Belle Burden, which chronicles the end of her 20-year marriage. ABC News correspondent Martha Raddatz lands at number 3 with The Hero Next Door. Coming in 4th is Senator Chris Murphy's Crisis of the Common Good, while former Obama speechwriter Ben Rhodes rounds out the top 5 with All We Say.
Thank you, Sane. A bit of a surprise here, maybe the power of the box office. Michael Jackson's legendary album Thriller is the 5th best-selling album this week. Hey, our friend Cisco Morris is swinging by with his plant of the month for June, and it is a monster in a good way.
This is Hosta Sagae, and it's a famous hosta from Japan. I love Sagae because it's got thick leaves that slugs don't really like to eat. Now, I planted this as a centerpiece in this pot about 10 years ago. This thing just took over the pot, shoved the other guys out, and I love it. So I plant this thing, I let it grow here every year. Okay, how do I make this guy so big? First of all, I put it in a really good-sized pot. This is called an inverted cowbell pot. Oh la la, is it cool or what? Get the best potting soil that you can find. Ask at your nursery, they'll tell you the best stuff. Then, the magic ingredients. I love organic soluble fertilizer, and these are just great. So to make this grow big like this, I use 4-4-1. This is fish fertilizer. Every 2 weeks, this guy gets a drink. I can hear it out here saying, feed me, if I don't do it. Then in midsummer, I give it 2-4-1. And what that does is it promotes blooming. It gets these soft lavender flowers. Sometimes the stalks are like 50 inches tall. The hummingbirds go nuts. They are on it every minute. This will die back completely in the fall. And if you've ever grown hostas, you know the leaves turn to slime. So once it starts to die back, I cut it down right to the top of the pot. And in spring, when it starts coming up, if I want new hostas, soon as the new leaves are 4 inches tall, I just cut a chunk of them out, go plant it somewhere in your garden. You've got a whole new clump of hosta growing. So you want a great hosta, this is your guy. Oh la la, feed me, feed me.
Thank you, Cisco. That plant of the month again is Hosta Sagae. Ooh la la.
Up next,
I really enjoy looking into the past and the way that the old-timers did stuff.
the Eatonville Eatery celebrating the town's history and handcrafting ciders in the foothills of Mount Rainier. Evening is sponsored by Dram Corp.
And welcome back to Evening. Aloha. We're at Hawaii General Store here in Wallingford. This is Duke's Place. Just come swing by for some aloha. How about a road trip? If you're heading to Mount Rainier, you want a spot to stop, cool your heels, maybe have a cider or two, here's your place.
I'm going where water tastes like wine.
On a late afternoon at Millhouse Cider in Eatonville, you'll find co-owner Steve Schmidt passing out seat cushions to guests.
People really enjoy coming here. They enjoy the beauty of the grounds and the good food, the good drink, and meeting people and just being outside.
This is a place that celebrates Eatonville's past, when a sawmill was the town's largest employer.
I really enjoy looking into the past and the way that the old timers did stuff. That's why we have the old logging equipment in the tap room and the photos to go with it, just as a reminder of what used to be.
Steve built the water wheel out of reclaimed wood, added water features, including a koi pond, and set up the grounds so groups of all sizes could gather around campfires.
Most of our evenings are pretty cool here, and so to sit around a fire, to be honest, nowadays a lot of people, that's as close as they're coming to camping, and so they really enjoy this atmosphere here.
On a weekend, they'll sell 500 pints of handcrafted cider.
And that's a pint every 45 seconds.
The kitchen churns out flatbreads, hand-delivered by fast-walking servers. There was a scallop special the day I visited, and some tasty-looking desserts.
I'm a kid in a candy store here.
As a businessman, Steve is happy to see so many new faces here.
We have over 2 million people that go to Mount Rainier National Park every year, and a lot of them drive right past here. Hey there, Mr. Derek.
But deep down, he gets the biggest pleasure out of running into locals.
This is a very special town. When people become ill or someone passes, it's amazing how this town rises up and takes care of its people. So I guess I felt inclined to build something that was worthy of the town itself.
I'm going to some place that I've never been before.
Looks like fun, huh, Duke? The Millhouse Cider Company has live music on the weekends and a night market every other Thursday this summer.
When evening returns, explore a vintage craft that hunted enemy submarines during World War II.
Doesn't matter if you know how to play, just do it with conviction. Welcome back to Evening from Hawaii General Store here. Graduation buzz is building soon. All of these leis will be on the necks of local graduates. How cool. Speaking of special events, boating fans, especially historic wooden boats, there is an event coming up that you're not going to want to miss. In fact, here's a look at one of the boats. Before it was a floating museum, it actually used to hunt down enemy subs in World War II. Here's Saint.
Imagine getting something like this for free. That's what happened to Matt Levy and his wife Kelly Tinas, who have made fixing up historic vessels their life's work. Matt especially likes working on engines.
I like the dance that's involved in operating the vessel. The original switchboard from 1943 is still here, so getting the generator up and actually being online is a process. It's almost like a mechanical flow chart that you have to go through, and it's a lot of fun to just operate the thing.
Air Snipe is one of 5 World War II submarine chasers still afloat. Back in the day, heavily armed, like this subchaser, she served in Alaska's Aleutian Islands and the South Pacific with 27 sailors aboard. 27 sailors that needed to be fed in the galley, where some slept. Officers' quarters were a bit better.
We've got where the captain, the XO, and the chief engineer would have stayed.
After the war, Air Snipe was a Coast Guard cutter. Then she provided barge service between Seattle and Southeast Alaska. When Ketchikan owner Kent Halverson passed away in 2023, his family donated the ship, and Matt and Kelly have been taking care of her ever since.
A lot of people are just amazed that this type of vessel is even still around, and especially given the condition that it's in. Our plan is just to share it with people.
So cool. You can step aboard more than 40 historic boats at the Classic Yacht Rendezvous Bell Harbor Marina Father's Day weekend. It is free, and they're celebrating their centennial fleet, boats that are more than 100 years old. Speaking of age, you know, we here at Evening are celebrating our 40th season. That is legacy. The people, the places that make the Northwest so wonderful and weird. And ready or not, we have a change up coming. Here's your clue. You think you know what the big change is? We're going to keep teasing you all week long. You can jump over to our social media if you want to speculate. And until then, thank you, truly thank you, all of you, for keeping one of the longest running local shows in America on the air. Have a great evening.